Hello, welcome to this learning platform of YouTube. Today we will discuss something about behaviorism and mentalism. There are two main theories of language acquisition, behaviorism and mentalism. Actually, these are two mindset, if I say, two mindset regarding the learning acquisition, how someone learns, how human being learns something. I mean, a language or anything else. Behaviorist and mentalist. They both have different point of view. Let's see first the behavioral approach. Behavioral approach is fully formulated by B.F. Skinner in Verbal Behavior in 1957. Actually, behaviorism claims that language learning in children can be accounted for in very much the same way as we can account for a dog learning to stand on its hind legs to beg for a biscuit. It means behaviorists think that a child or a dog they learn in the same way. Although I personally do not consider it right, but as B.F. Skinner have propounded this theory or it was formulated by B.F. Skinner. So I'm just explaining it. So according to B.F. Skinner, it is said that the child and a dog learn in the same way. Okay, very much the same way we can say. Learning comes with training, stimulation, imitation, reward, and repetition. That's I can agree with it because behaviorists say that learning any language, it's a result of training. It's the result of stimulation. It's a result of imitation. It's a result of reward. It's a result of repetition. It means if somebody or a child who speaks Hindi, it means it's a result of training. Somebody has trained him to speak Hindi or some stimulation would have been worked in past or imitation the child is imitating his parents and reward and repetition these factors are responsible for learning a language according to behaviorist theory. Now what does mentalist approach say? It says strongly backed by Chomsky and his mentalist followers who attacked behavioral approach. According to research, all children of all nationalities, irrespective of race, class, intelligence, learn language in regular steps. Oh, that's very common. We can say, for example, suppose if we are in India or a child who is upbringing in India, a child who is in America or in Canada, or irrespective of boundaries, I mean of countries, they learn the language in the same way. Mentalists say that babbling one word trends and two word trends. I mean, a child first will say, babbling like such words he'll speak and then one word trends in India, he'll say amma or ma or amma, mama, like the words. And in other countries, if the atmosphere depends on atmosphere, if English is being spoken, the child will say mama, or if his other language is speaking, he will speak in that region or that particular language. Start with one word and two word trends until their speech is distinguishable from the adult norms of their community. Same way, mentalist and behaviorist. Let me explain you very briefly about it. Mentalists say, suppose if a dog, if a child is learning something, it's a result of training, stimulation, reward, repetition, imitation. But mentalists say, if somebody is learning something, that boy or girl or a child is learning because of it is programmed to do so. His body is designed like that. We will read it further in the coming PPT. We will see it. Like in other words, mentalism argues that just as human children are genetically programmed to walk, when they reach a certain stage of development, they are programmed to talk, innate ability to acquire language. Language is as natural a part in development of human beings as the growth of body. Very good. They say, mentalists say, language is a natural part in the development of a human being as the growth of the body. Having the right environment is exposure to speech. The child learns the language automatically. The child is potential speaker, not a miniature one. Thus, given the right environment, he will be able to acquire the language and develop it. So let me explain. Behaviorists say that child will learn by training. Mentalists say that he is programmed to do so that way that child will speak. If let me put some argument in it. According to behaviorist theory, If we want to, teach a dog Hindi, can he learn by training, stimulation, and imitation and repetition? Here, mentalist theory applies because the dog is not programmed to talk like us, is not designed to talk like us. And now come to mentalist theory. If they say if we are designed to talk, okay, then if suppose a child of 5 or child of 2, he is left among the animals and up to the age of 12 years, will he be able to speak Hindi because he is programmed to talk? Because that is the human body programmed to talk like us. They definitely he will talk like us. No, he won't. So personally, what does my concern say? Actually, both theories are important. Behaviorist, I mean training, stimulation, reward, and repetition, as well as mentalist theory, because your body must be programmed to perform like the desired level. That is, I consider. So perhaps we can say that the difference between mentalism and behaviorism lies in the following: behaviorist belief that the knowledge of language and capacity of learning it comes with experience and practice, whereas the mentalists really believe that knowledge is already there in the brain since birth, but it is activated with experience. Yes, of course, I consider it right. Now let's come to the main topic, which is sociolinguistics. It might be, some because of my face, we can see this sociolinguistics, the branches of linguistics. Now, what is sociolinguistics? Linguistics is the study of language, and socio means something related to society. And here we can see this triangle. This triangle says what is sociolinguistics? I mean, sociolinguistics is the study of ways people use language. Sociolinguistics study of the way people use special attention being paid to variation within a language. What do you think of it? What do you think of it? It means sociolinguistics study the relationship between society and language. Okay. So this way we can see the relationship of a language and society and the study of the both the things, because as we have earlier studied or in mentalist and behaviorist theory, the society also play a vital role in learning acquisition. Uh, Same way, sociolinguistics will study the effect of society, how the variations are there in a language. Like sociolinguists set themselves to task of examining language use, its variation, its development, change, and standardization. Sociolinguistics tries to examine how and why people use language as they interact with other members of their society. It has showed that language is not merely used to communicate ideas, but also communicate our opinions of others and of ourselves. It examines variety in language and how, when, why, in what ways variation occurs. It also examines bilingual and multilingual communities, seeing as not all communities are monolingual. In India, this it happens frequently. It happens because India is a country of great diversity, and we have different language, different cultures, cultural heritage. Suppose in India, a guy who is being upbringing in North India, he can speak Hindi as well as in English. And some people who are due to their jobs and all, they are living in North India. They are from other parts of India. They speak their regional languages. So India is multilingual society. Multilingual communities are there in India, and the use of English language variation. Suppose somebody who speaks Hindi, Hindi also have different varieties, and it's suppose people who with rural background they speak Hindi in their own way, but the professional Hindi, which is speak that is different. So this variation because of the dialect variety. We can further we can read the variety is the norm in mother tongue usage. It is the form of a language used by speakers of that language. This may include dialects, accent, registers, style, or other social linguistic variation. as well as the standard language variety itself. And we can see it is noticed that the variation of a speaker's language reveals the information on his sex, approximate age, regional, perhaps ethnic origin, education, and attitude to his listeners. For example, the utterance of hello can reveal the speaker wishes to be friendly and informal, that he or she probably British, because most of the Americans would prefer hi. This all statement, what does it say? It says our way of speaking a language decides or identifies, the approximate regional factors, approximate, age, sex, as well as, education, attitude to the listener. How? It depends. A boy from slum, the way of speaking English will be different from the way of speaking a boy who is from a major city or a good convent school, or a boy who is from Indian gurukuls. The way of speaking will be totally different, and his way of speaking, his style, and his way of speaking will definitely identify his background. Now, this way, this variety in the language is the result of socio-linguistic backgrounds. So, in sociolinguistics, we study these all factors. Here it is written like it may include dialects, accent, register, style. It means the society plays a vital role in the variation of the inner language. Here, variation also occurs in terms of the subject matter under the discussion. Nuclear disarmament will not be discussed the same terms as neighborly gossip, nor will one use identical forms of language with a shopkeeper and in a minister of religion. Speakers can also range in formality from shared intimacy of slang through casual conversation to stiff correctness that usually characterizes an interview. Let me explain it. We speak English language. Suppose during this lecture I'm speaking language in a specific form of it. I want to use the same English with my friends, and I want to use the same accent, same vocab, same type of tone and style with a beggar, and with my workers. I want to use the same. This is the variety in a language. Suppose if I have to say something to minister, I would definitely say in another way. Like I'll say, sir, please could you let me serve for you? And for a guy who is working in my garden, I would ask him to not the same way, sir. Would you please let me explain for this? Because I might use my slang, I might use my local dialect speaking to that guy, and my tone will be different. Dialect. What is dialect? Dialect is a very variety of language that characteristic of a particular group of the language speakers. Like Haryanvi is a dialect, as well as when we go to some states of India, we found different dialects are being spoken there. Even Hindi has different dialects in UP. Uttar Pradesh, one of the state of India. The term is applied most often to the regional speech patterns. A dialect is distinguished by its vocab, grammar, pronunciation, phonology. It's very, a very good point. And what is diglossia? Actually, diglossia is a situation where a given language community uses two languages or dialect. The first being the community's present day vernacular, and the second being either an ancestral version of the same vernacular from the centuries. The situation is a versus literary Arabic versus spoken variety of the Arabic language. Differs from country to country. But I would use some more, near to the real life example in Indian context. Like Sanskrit is the most ancient language of the world, and in India, many language has been derived from Sanskrit. Even Hindi is spoken in the most of the parts of India, but Hindi many words are exactly spoken from Sanskrit in Hindi. People say many words they speak in the Hindi language from directly derived from Sanskrit. So this depends on how the situation is, the dialect is, diagnosis situation where given language community uses two languages or dialects. Hindi is spoken in the specific way, in formal way, very differently it is spoken in the daily life conversation. So diagnosis is an important concept in the field of sociolinguistics at the social level. Each of the two dialects has certain spheres of social interaction to it. So this was all regarding the mentalist theory, behaviorist theory, social linguistics, and diagnostics. So this all we have learned today. Although it was just the introductory class, in my coming classes we will further discuss about the other parts of linguistics. And I'm also going to try to put some, for the Indian students, those who are, in the basics of grammar, I will start for them. That class might be in Hindi as well as, that will be bilingual class for them, as many exams are coming and the students are, confused about the roles. They use English language, like they use English language and the certain rules they cram. Actually, it's the function. So we will, in coming class, we will discuss some, grammatical rules and common errors, uh, definitely with this linguistics part as well. For the day, it is off from my side. Good day, good luck.